Unveiling the power within, embracing introversion as your superpower. Welcome to a transformative journey of self discovery and empowerment. Today, we're delving into the depths of human potential, exploring a topic that touches the lives of millions, yet often remains shrouded in misunderstanding. We're about to uncover the hidden strengths of introversion, guided by the profound insights and inspiring journey of an extraordinary individual, Brendalyn Carpenter Player. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the remarkable impact Brendalyn has had on countless lives. Her courage in sharing her story, her dedication to personal growth, and her commitment to helping others embrace their authentic selves have created ripples of change that continue to spread far and wide. Brendalyn's work isn't just about personal development, it's about reshaping our understanding of human potential and creating a world where every individual, regardless of their personality type, can thrive. Now, let me ask you a question that might stir something deep within you. Have you ever felt like you were wearing a mask? Like you needed to adjust your natural way of being to fit in at your workplace, in your relationships, or even among friends? If you have, I want you to know that you're not alone. This feeling of needing to conform, to hide parts of ourselves, is a struggle that many of us face daily. But what if I told you that the very things you're trying to hide could be your greatest strengths? Brendalyn's story is a powerful testament to this truth. As we explore her experiences and insights, I want you to keep one transformative idea at the forefront of your mind. Embracing your introversion is not about changing who you are. It's about reconnecting with your truth and living it out loud, unapologetically and authentically. Let's begin with the pivotal moment that shaped Brendalyn's self perception and caused her to retreat deeply inward. Picture a 9-year-old girl full of hope and anticipation, attending a neighborhood church for the first time with her father. It wasn't just any ordinary service. An evangelist, a faith healer, was there that day. For young Brendalyn, who had cerebral palsy as a result of a stroke in infancy, this seemed like a chance for a miracle, a moment that could change everything. Imagine the scene: a child standing in the prayer line, her left hand tucked safely into her father's right, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. When it was finally her turn, the evangelist cupped her hands over Brendalyn's and began to pray. In that moment, something remarkable happened. Brendalyn's muscles began to relax, her tight fist loosened, and her fingers began to open up. The congregation erupted in praise, singing and shouting with tears of joy. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. While everyone else saw a miracle, Brendalyn left the prayer line with a confusing mix of hope and bewilderment. You see, shortly after that moment of apparent healing, her fingers curled back into a fist. Her 9-year-old mind couldn't process what had happened. She felt unworthy, and worse, she felt like God had said no to her heartfelt petition. This moment was pivotal in ways that would echo throughout Brendalyn's life. Embarrassed and ashamed, she wanted to disappear. But if she couldn't escape the attention, she could at least be quiet. So she packaged her feelings of rejection and imperfection and hid them inside introversion, her newfound safe space. Now, it's crucial to understand that while we are genetically predisposed to certain temperaments, our personality traits can be profoundly influenced by life experiences and our environment. For Brendalyn, this experience shaped how she interacted with the world in ways that would last for decades. She retreated into her introversion, using it as a shield against potential rejection and a cover for her intense feelings of brokenness. This pattern followed her into adulthood, influencing her personal and professional choices. And I bet many of you can relate to this on some level. We've all had challenges that shape how we see ourselves and how we choose to interact with the world as a result. For introverts like Brendalyn, and perhaps like many of you listening, there is a pathway to unlock our quiet strength and thrive authentically. But it's not always an easy journey. Let's pause for a moment and reflect. Think about a time in your life when you felt the need to hide a part of yourself. Maybe it was in a meeting at work where you had a brilliant idea but didn't speak up. Or perhaps it was at a social gathering where you felt overwhelmed and wished you could disappear. These moments of self doubt and self concealment are common, especially for introverts in a world that often seems to celebrate extroversion. But what happens when these coping mechanisms no longer serve us? When we discover that the protective measures, our carefully constructed walls, indeed deny access to our safe spaces, but also limit our exposure, keeping us hidden, holding us back from shining our true light, we suppress our feelings and they eventually resurface one way or another, often manifesting in mental and physical health issues. For Brendalyn, a second pivotal moment came in the form of another health scare, a stroke just over a year ago. This became a catalyst for change, a wake up call that shook the foundations of her self perception. Something shifted inside her as she reflected on how much time she had spent hiding behind her introversion instead of embracing it as a strength. This time she made a different choice. She was done with fear of exposure, fear of rejection, and fear of imperfection. And this, my friends, is where the real transformation begins. It's a moment of decision that each of us has the power to make, a choice to step into our authentic selves despite the discomfort and uncertainty it might bring. Being an introvert doesn't mean playing small. We were not designed to hide. That 9-year-old girl is still with Brendalyn, but now her walls are down. When she feels the urge to shrink back, she leans in. She has learned to manage her energy and navigate the challenges of stepping outside her comfort zone. And in doing so, she's discovered a wellspring of strength she never knew she had. Brendalyn's journey teaches us that we can be social and enjoy solitude on our terms, because embracing your introversion is not about changing who you are. It's about reconnecting with your truth and living it out loud. It's about honoring your needs and making space for what lights you up, even if that looks different from what society often celebrates. Now, I want you to consider this. What if, instead of trying to fix ourselves or hide our true nature, we embraced our introversion as the superpower it truly is? Introverts bring a wealth of strengths to the table. We're deep thinkers, great listeners, and natural problem solvers. We thrive in intimate conversations and can form profound connections. Our ability to reflect deeply and process information thoroughly can lead to insights and innovations that might be missed in a more fast paced, extroverted approach. So I ask you, what are you masking? Are you hiding a gift that could benefit those around you? Do you have coping strategies to protect feelings of inadequacy while being your authentic self? These are challenging questions, but they're essential for our growth and for unleashing our full potential. Brendalyn's story shows us how we, as introverts, can step into our power. One of the most impactful steps she took was leaning into discomfort, which requires feeding confidence and starving fear. We know from experience that the more we face fear, the less control it has over us. But this isn't about forcing ourselves into uncomfortable situations for the sake of it. It's about recognizing the value in stretching our boundaries and the growth that comes from these experiences. Let me share with you a powerful example from Brendalyn's life that illustrates this beautifully. Just a few months ago, as part of an executive leadership program, she and her colleagues were invited to rappel from a 34-foot tower at a military installation. Now, Brendalyn had worked at this Army installation for 10 years and had the privilege to escort numerous leaders to the rappel experience, but she never envisioned it for herself. Picture this scene. Brendalyn at the base of the tower, watching soldiers demonstrate the proper rappel technique. Several colleagues enthusiastically volunteered to be first to top the platform. It was obvious they were adrenaline junkies. They cycled through 2 or 3 times. There was friendly showmanship along with healthy doses of support and camaraderie. Brendalyn felt safe among her friends, so she went for it. Suited in her harness, helmet, and gloves, she raced up 57 stairs, her throat tightening with each step. When she topped the platform, her legs were like jelly, her heart palpitated. She felt weak, like she would either throw up or pass out. But she didn't give herself the satisfaction of looking back. She forced each step toward the rope, kneeled at the tower's edge, and locked eyes with the soldier who secured her harness. When instructed, she stood up, leaned back in the proper position, and stepped off the platform. The rush of adrenaline and exhilaration as her feet touched the ground was beyond words. It felt like she silenced decades worth of, what if I can't do it? What if I make a mistake? What if I'm not good enough? A year ago, Brendalyn would have talked herself out of stepping off that tower. But now she's choosing to show up as her whole self, unapologetically introverted and free of shame. This story illustrates a profound truth. Embracing your introversion is an act of defiance. It's a bold declaration that you're no longer willing to hide who you are. It's a commitment to living life on your terms, not society's. And when you grant yourself permission to be authentic, you open the door for others to do the same. Imagine a Yamila world where we all felt safe to be our true selves, where we celebrate diversity of thought and personality, where we recognize that there's no one right way to be and that our differences are what make us stronger. That world is possible, but it starts with each of us having the courage to stand in our truth. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds great, but how do I actually do this? How do I embrace my introversion in a world that often seems to favor extroversion? Well, let me share with you some practical steps that Brendalyn has found helpful in her journey and that you can start implementing in your own life today. 1. Self-awareness. Start by understanding your introverted traits, what energizes you, what drains you. Knowing yourself is the first step to embracing yourself. Take time to reflect on your experiences, your reactions, and your needs. Keep a journal if it helps. The more you understand about your own introverted nature, the better equipped you'll be to honor it. 2. Set boundaries. Learn to say no to events or activities that don't align with your values or energy levels. It's okay to prioritize your needs. This might mean limiting social engagements, scheduling alone time, or communicating your needs clearly to others. Remember, setting boundaries isn't selfish. It's necessary for your well-being and allows you to show up more fully in the areas of your life that matter most. 3, recharge regularly. Make time for solitude and reflection. This isn't a luxury, it's a necessity for introverts. Whether it's reading a book, taking a walk in nature, or simply sitting in quiet contemplation, find what recharges you and make it a non-negotiable part of your routine. 4, leverage your strengths. Use your natural abilities for deep thinking and careful observation in your work and relationships. Introverts often excel at tasks that require concentration, analysis, and creativity. Identify how your introverted traits can be assets in your personal and professional life, and look for opportunities to put these strengths to use. 5, communicate your needs. Let others know about your preferences. Most people will understand and respect your needs if you explain them. This might feel uncomfortable at first, but clear communication can prevent misunderstandings and help others support you better. 6, challenge yourself gradually. Like Brendalyn with the repelling experience, push your boundaries bit by bit. Growth happens outside your comfort zone, but that doesn't mean you need to throw yourself into overwhelming situations. Start small, celebrate your progress, and gradually tackle bigger challenges. 7, find your tribe. Seek out other introverts or people who understand and appreciate your introverted nature. Having a support system of like-minded individuals can be incredibly validating and empowering. This might be through online communities, local meetups, or simply cultivating deeper connections with friends who share your introverted tendencies. 8, celebrate your successes. Acknowledge when you've pushed through fear or discomfort. Every small victory builds confidence. Take time to reflect on your growth and the moments when you've honored your introverted nature while still challenging yourself. Remember, the goal isn't to become an extrovert. The goal is to be the best version of yourself, your authentic introverted self. It's about finding the balance between honoring your need for solitude and engaging with the world in meaningful ways. As we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with this powerful thought. Your introversion is not a weakness to be overcome, but a strength to be harnessed. It's a unique lens through which you view the world, offering insights and perspectives that are invaluable. In a world that often celebrates the loudest voices, your quiet strength has the power to create profound change. Brendalyn's journey from hiding behind her introversion to embracing it as a source of strength is a powerful reminder of what's possible when we choose authenticity over conformity. Her story challenges us to reconsider our own relationship with our introverted nature and to see it not as a limitation, but as a wellspring of potential. So I invite you to take a moment right now, close your eyes if you're in a safe place to do so. Take a deep breath. Now, I want you to imagine yourself fully embracing your introverted nature. What does that look like for you? How does it feel? What becomes possible when you're no longer fighting against who you truly are? As you open your eyes, carry that feeling with you. Let it guide you in the days and weeks to come. Remember, every time you choose to honor your introverted nature, you're not just being true to yourself, you're giving others permission to do the same. You're contributing to a world that values diverse ways of being and thinking. Your challenge, should you choose to accept it, is this. In the next week, identify one situation where you typically mask your introverted nature. It could be a meeting at work, a social gathering, or even a conversation with a friend. In that situation, I want you to consciously choose to show up as your authentic, introverted self. Notice how it feels. Notice the impact it has on your interactions. And most importantly, notice the strength it takes to be true to yourself. This isn't about dramatic overnight change. It's about small, consistent steps towards authenticity. It's about gradually peeling back the layers of societal expectations to reveal the true you underneath. It's about recognizing that your introversion is not just a part of you, it's a powerful force that can drive creativity, foster deep connections, and bring unique perspectives to the world. As we conclude, I want to challenge you to see your introversion as a call to action, a call to embrace your unique gifts, to honor your need for reflection and deep thought, and to bring your authentic self to every interaction. The world needs your quiet strength, your thoughtful insights, and your deep empathy. By embracing your introversion, you're not just changing your own life, but you're contributing to a more diverse, understanding, and balanced world. Remember, in a world that can be overwhelmingly loud, your quiet voice matters. Your thoughtful presence is powerful. Your introverted nature is not something to overcome, but something to celebrate and nurture. So go forth, embrace your introversion, and let your quiet strength roar. The world is waiting for the unique contributions that only you, with your introverted superpowers, can make. Thank you for joining me on this transformative journey. Until next time, keep embracing your unique self, keep challenging those boundaries, and keep shining your light, because the world needs exactly who you are, introversion and all. The power is within you. The time to embrace it is now. Let your introversion be your superpower, and watch as you transform not just your own life, but the world around you. The quiet revolution starts with you. Are you ready to lead it?